Hello. All right, here we go. Lab iTunes Search Part 1. This is, where am I looking at? 5.4. I'm working with the web. And so it says to create a new playground. This time we're not doing a Xcode project, we're doing a playground. So let's make a new playground. Xcode. And I'm selecting new playground on my other monitor. You can't really see. And I'm dragging it over here. So here's a new Xcode playground, blank. I'm going to call it iTunes Search. And let's see. So I'm going to change the comment up here to 5.4 iTunes Search. Okay. It says import playground support. Okay, so let's import playground support. And then it says to change the playground page to the current playground page needs indefinite execution equals true. So we're setting like some kind of a bool here to, what does it do? To ensure your playground runs continuously so it can make network calls to an API at any time. All right, take a few minutes to review the documentation of the Search API, iTunes Search API. All right, I'll click on that. Let's take a look at it. In general, the Apple documentation is kind of confusing to me, but this is what's going to tell you all the parameters and values that you can use with this API. Okay, and it shows you how to search for things with their API. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. All right. So let's see. We probably want to call certain attributes like oh, I see if it's a movie, if it's a type. Okay. Well, we're going to want to look for artists. We're going to want to look for titles. We're going to want to look for that stuff. All right. Look at the different parameters. Yeah, we did. Create a query dictionary, that looks for your favorite movie or songs by your favorite music artist. Make sure to use the exact keys and expected values listed in the API. At a minimum one, you use term and media keys. Well, that's pretty vague. I mean, how are we supposed to do that? All right, let me think about this. Opening up my playground here. Oh, think. All right, well, let's start with what it said. It said we want to make a query, so I'm just going to call this thing query. And the type is going to be, they said string, a dictionary. It's like a string. So string, string. That's a dictionary of strings. And that's the type. Now our query is going to contain some stuff in it. So it's going to have, they said in the minimum they wanted a term. The term we're going to check against. Let's check against iTunes. We're searching iTunes. So let's search for my band. And let's search for media. I think it's music. I'll have to look at that again. So let's start with that. Let me double check their documentation to see if that's what I should be searching for. Movie, podcast, music. Yeah, music is the attribute, and term. Any URL. Okay, and term. Okay. I don't know. Let's just start with that for now. Okay. All right, so we're going to also need to figure out the URL for the iTunes search. And I did see it over there. So let we'll call it base URL equal, it's a URL, and it's, oh God, don't crash on me now. Curse you, playgrounds. All right, let me pause and restart it. All right, URL, and it's a string. So URL string, we're passing a string in. And the string is actually, let's look at it. Here, this part, this little bit here with the question mark. Okay, so there's the base URL we check against. Why don't you like that? Oh, we also have to import UIKit because it doesn't know what a URL is. Import UIKit. Okay, let's look back at the book and see what it wants us to do exactly again. I think it was pretty vague. Create the query. We did the query dictionary. Looks for your favorite music or songs by your, okay. Make sure to use exact keys listed in the API. We did. At least you want to use term and media keys. Media key. Did I do that? Yeah, media music. Okay. Now that you have your query dictionary, create a variable to hold the base URL. We did. And there's the base URL. To make it easier to configure a URL property, add an extension to URL type with a function that returns a URL based on the string query. Oh, all right, that's hard. All right, let's do that. I mean, the extension part's easy. You just do extension URL. There we go. We've extended URL. That's all the extension is. But that next little business in there, like create a function, return a. So all right, we're going to create a function, and function is we'll call it with queries. And they want it to return a URL question mark. So maybe it's got a URL, maybe it doesn't. But we got to pass our queries in there. So our with queries. So this is our dictionary of queries. So it's like it's a string dictionary. So that's the type. Passing that in. And now's where I got to look this up. Okay. Your components. Here. Let's make this a little quicker here. Move along. Boom. There's your code. So we're getting some components based on the URL components. And we're taking those components and we're querying the items using a flat map, this kind of closure here. This closure will check all the items and return the URL. This is a fancy piece of code that I could not have come up with without a lot of research. All right, so pause and copy that down. Okay, so we're back. Let's see what's next. All right, next page. Oh, look at that. They gave us the function. Nice. I wish I had known that. With your base URL and query properties, create the search URL that you'll use. With the base URL and query properties, create a new search URL that you're going to use to request data from the API. All right, so you need to make a new URL. And well, I'm just going to say let URL to search with equal base URL dot with queries. We should be able to do that now. Oh, we have to specify it's a URL so it knows we have this new functionality. Base URL dot with queries. And then we're going to pass our queries in there. Wait a second. Oh, we can't do this inside of the extension. Sorry. So this is its own thing. That's like here. And then let's actually put our code maybe up here so it makes a little more sense. Okay, what's your problem now? Does this need to be a variable? Is that what you're yelling at me about? Are you sure? Because, oh, wait a second. It's playgrounds. So it doesn't have the extension yet. So you have to put it down below because the extension is, we make the extension up here. What's your problem now? Yeah, let's make it a question mark. What's your problem? Okay, okay. Stop yelling at me, just do it. All right, we put a little exclamation point in there. That's probably not good coding, but good enough for today. All right, now we got this new URL. Let's take a look at it, see what it is. Cool, it's got our little search terms in there. Whoa, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Moving on, moving on. Where's the book? Okay. Pulling data from the web. Now that you have your URL configured correctly, you'll use it to fetch your data from the web. Use the shared URL session to create data task for the specific URL. The completion handler will give you 3 properties: data, URL response error, da-da-da-da-da. Don't forget to resume. So they give us the code for this one, this extension, but not for this, because this is actually even harder than this one. All right, let me do some research. Think. So, all right, hang on. All right, let's check this out. Boom. There's some code. Let's see here. So it's actually URL to search with. All right. So here we go. URL session shared data task. It's taking in the URL we created up here. Here's the function. It's actually a closure, not a function. And all this code, again, this is like some wild, wacky stuff. So pause, copy, and paste this in. And then let's take a look at what it's doing. Boom, look at all that. That looks like garbage to me. But, let's take a look at this. I think this actually is pulling up some relevant information. Yeah, here's one of my songs. Haunted. Very cool. So how do we use that? Let's see how we can use that in a creative way. Okay, so I changed it up here to be something more specific. So we're not returning, so it doesn't return like a bunch of different things. I'm looking for one specific song that I wrote called Syntoxication. And it's looking through iTunes now, searching for it. And when it gets to about here, it prints out a string version of the result. There's the string version. And this has, see, this has a lot of data in it. So you have to parse this data out and print out like like this is the album title, this is the track name, this is the band name. So it's actually pulling in 3 results. It looks like 3 results. So perhaps that song appears a couple different albums. It really should only be in one place, but that's all right. That is neither here nor there. All right, so this is all you're going to need for this assignment is for it to get to this point. We don't actually have to do anything creative with the data at this point. Very cool stuff. I didn't know it was quite exposed. Like I didn't know the iTunes like API was exposed in that way. So it's pretty cool. You can make some really neat integration with your apps. Um, like you could search for when someone's typing out some text in a text message, if it searches for this song name, if someone maybe uses the word song in a text message, it might scour the text for the song so you could click on the link and download the song right there, if that makes any sense. All right, enough yammering, enough jabbering, you're done.